What's up guys, No Life here. Today I'm going to make another tier list video for you guys. I apologize, I have to record it on my phone. I can't exactly make videos very easily from a computer like most, but I'm working with what I got. Anyway, let's get this tier list off started. Assault Deku. I think he's A. Like I don't think he's broken. I don't think he's bad. I think there's an argument for S tier, honestly. He's like really good and he gets a lot out of tuning. But I don't think he's insanely broken. Yeah, I think he'll be a very high tier in A or a very low tier in S, depending on who you ask. I can't see him being any lower than that. Alright, on to the next character. Strike Dick. Wow. Is anybody surprised? Is literally anybody surprised? I just want to ask. Is literally anyone surprised he's up there? Strike Bakugo, huh? Man. What they did to poor bro, man. Like, it's not fair. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. I'll put him in D for now. I don't know if I'm going to move him up. It'll depend on how the rest of the tier list looks. But, like, man, he's bad. If you have good aim, play like any other beamer. Play Rapid Bakugo. Play either of the Dekus. Play either of the Todorokis. Play Denki. Play Mike. Play like any other beamer. And you will have better results than playing Bakugo. Like, he's just so bad right now. And I can't believe the devs let that stay that way for the season start. I think it's very sad. I think he's very bad. And yeah, I'm not exactly even sure, like, I don't even know if it's like possible to get like really good results with him. If you're getting like really good results with Bakugo, you're doing it on Rapid. That or you are just a god. Either way. But literally just play like Denki. Denki's better than Strike Bakugo in like every way, so you know. Yeah. Rapid Bakugo. He's S. Just a better Bakugo. Take Bakugo, give him actual damage on his alpha, and give him, like, goated mobility. And that's basically what this is. Yeah. Crazy. Crazy character. Ochako? It really depends on, like, who you're fighting here. Because many Ochakos really aren't good. But if you find that one that's, like, got her combos on point, you got her card throws right, knows how to combo everything into alpha, like, she's S tier. But a majority of them are, like, C tier. Like, majority of them suck. But if you find the good ones, like, it is a genuinely scary time. But if you can roll her Gamma, like, it's generally not that bad, so I'm gonna stick her in A tier. Probably below Assault Deku for now. We'll see how it turns out. Ida. B tier. And there's one big reasoning why. I used to put him a lot higher, but the nerf to wall running has really hit Ida. And like, he needed a nerf, sure. But hitting wall running like that really nerfed a lot of his ability to, like, evade attacks and get away from people. And now he feels a lot more straightforward and, you know, a lot less impressive when you meet a good Ida. He can still do crazy combos, like, he can still break your guard, but, like, he ain't great. He really is not great. Like, he's usable, though. Like, he's definitely not, like, unusable, but the wall running nerf hit him very hard, in my opinion. Strike Todoroki. People underrate him. People genuinely underrate him. He has like he makes a really good use of tuning as well, getting up his alpha. And yeah, like he's good. Like he's really good. I think he's very, very underrated right now. I think he's slowly starting to climb the ranks a little bit. And I think he's probably this, like, he's good. Okay, like, he's just good. Like, his Gamma can still stun you for crazy amounts of damage and all that. And his beta still hits for 200, and he can true combo it into alpha if he does it right. And that's like 300 damage right there with tuning. Like, I don't think he's amazing. He still feels a little slow, and he still feels like he could use a buff. I think if they gave his beta the same buff they gave his gamma, or he can act out of it a lot faster, and like it comes out a lot faster, then I think there's a genuine chance he rises back up to A tier. But I don't think he's quite there now. I am going to put him above Ida, though, as if you can hit your shots, I do think Strike Todo is a monster. Purple Todoroki. Call this a hot take. I think he's better than Rapid Bakugo. I think it would probably depend on map, realistically. Like, if somebody had me make a tier list for multiple different maps, Purple Todo is up here on UA Island, like, number 2 or number 3. Like, he's busted on UA Island. But USJ, he's not so crazy that he's, like, unmanageable. He's still really good, though. I think Rapid Bakugo is better on USJ, because the better mobility matters a lot more. And then, I think Purple Todo is, like, significantly better on UA Island. So, I'm going to put Purple Todo a little higher, because I feel like he gets more advantage from the map pick, while Rapid Bakugo is kind of just good on both. Yeah. I think Purple Todo is crazy. I think he's underrated. Like, people put him in higher tiers, but I don't think that's high enough. I think he's very, very strong. Froppy, huh? Like, she's bad. What they did to her, man, is bad. Her beta just doesn't work. Now, for the sake of having an interesting conversation here, I'm going to assume that her beta gets patched next update, since we have information knowing that the devs, they know about the beta's hit detection issues. And if beta gets fixed, she moves up. Whether I'd put her above Ida or not, it's kind of tough to tell. Like, she's much better at supporting than Ida is, but Ida's much better at damaging. I don't know. They'd be both, like, be fairly similar, in my opinion. I think which one's better would be, like, up to you, really. I'd put Froppy better, because Reinforced Revive is crazy. And she can also run, like, Special Action Reload to get, like, a 12-second Reinforced Revive res. And it's like, that's crazy. Being able to just res somebody with full GP, half green, is just insane. Yeah. So I'm personally going to put her above Ida for now, but this is under the assumption that her beta gets fixed next update. If it doesn't, then she might be down there to Strike Bakugo. Who knows? Kirishima. I don't think he's good. I think there's a genuine step below B tier and Kirishima. I think he struggles getting in close against a lot of the characters. His vertical mobility is, like, very bad. Like, I know he has it with his beta, but it has so much ending lag on it when he uses it in the air. And he's also super level reliant. And often reliant on what map, too. And, like, yeah, he just has a lot of issues that make him, I don't think, makes him very good. I think he's pretty bad. You could probably still get results with him, because once you get 999, he's, like, up here, high B, low A. But we can't ignore his pre-level 9s. And his pre-level 9s are, like, unplayable. If you don't have 999 Kiri, like, you're struggling. Like, you're not really getting much. Now, Momo. I think she's the character that single-handedly changes the most depending on map pick. For people... For USJ, she's like C tier. Like, above Kiri, but, like, not great. USJ Momo is genuinely, like, very bad. Because there's, like, nothing that really works to her advantage very well on that map. But it feels like everything on UA Island works so well for her that I would probably put her, like, up here for UA Island. Like, she is a genuine monster on UA Island. She's able to easily, like, lock down a building by herself, and she's also able to make great use of the high ground that is easily provided to her from all of the buildings that are around, as well as the jump pads that she can utilize. And she can't really do any of that on USJ. Because there's nothing on USJ for her to really work. Like, she can do fine on, like, Fire and Typhoon on USJ, but, like, UA Island, she does really well on, like, basically the entire map. Once you get that Gamma up to 9, like, you're cooking. And she can spam team heals and stuff, too. She's cooking. Yeah. So, I think for the sake of, balancing out the list a little bit, I'm gonna put her above Froppy, probably. No, I'll put her above Strike Toto, too. I'll do that. I'll put her at top of B. But I would really only recommend playing her on UA Island. USJ is very bad for her, in my opinion. Denki, huh? I think he's a sleeper pick. I think he's a very sleeper pick. I don't know about S tier pick, though. I think I'm going to put him at the very top of A. Because he doesn't have the range of Assault Deku, and he doesn't really have the mobility, but he has a better passive in the Strike passive, or at least that's in my opinion. I think the Strike passive is better. And his Alpha does more damage, and he has great team combos with his Gamma Stun. When you're playing against a Denki, you have to, like, respect that Gamma Stun, or you're liable to just instantly die if they have their teammates present. And I think that is something worth noting. I think that should not be, like, just left out of the conversation here. I think there's a reason that Denki was top 3 in Japan meta for so long. He's broken. But he doesn't feel, like, unfairly broken, if it makes sense. He still, like, feels manageable. But if you have one that hits their shots, like, yeah, it's going to be a problem. Kendo. And I would honestly put her under Strike Bakugo. They're both awful. Like, it is genuinely sad what they did to those two characters. Like, Kendo still has support capabilities, I guess, with her ability to throw her teammates and her ability to, I guess, put up a wall for her teammates. Like, she can still do that. But it's like, it's not good enough niche to justify a team slot. And the niche that she had was being, like, the highest damage, yet no knockdown beamer in the game. That came with an asterisk of very poor range. And she still has this. She still does have this. But it's not by enough anymore. Like, Denki's Alpha at level 9 does like 95 with his own Strike passive. And you can probably tune it to be like over 100. Kendo only reaches like 112. So Kendo's biggest advantage over second place at like best or highest damage per shot with no knockdown beamer, like, it's not enough of an advantage. And Denki has so many advantages in so many other areas that easily make up for the slight lack of damage. With the main advantage Denki having being his more consistent ranged options. Like, he can do well at range. Like, Kendo, like, has lost, like, a lot of what made her good. And what made her good was her crazy damage and, like, her techs and stuff. And she could still do the techs, but she lost the damage part. And she's no longer damage at all. Like, she really can't do much damage reliably per game. Even her Gamma got hit, which was, in my opinion, completely unnecessary. Like, if you're gonna hit Alpha and nerf it by, like, 2 damage per level or something, I think that would have been, like, alright. But hitting Gamma 2 like that was just pointless. It kind of, like, it didn't necessarily kill her close quarters game, but it makes her just, it makes her so tough to use, man. Obara. I think Reinforced Revive has her moved all the way up to A. Reinforced Revive and her 160 damage alpha, it's crazy. Like, She still has great armored tools and melee ranges too, like her beta that does hefty damage. It is worth noting that she does require a decent amount of levels, and in my opinion, I think she works better on USJ as well. But it's like not a huge difference in my opinion. I think she's fine on either map. But yeah, her reinforced revive capabilities, as well as her massive alpha damage. Yeah, I think that finally like genuinely puts Abara as a like top tier pick right now. Whether I'd put her above Ochako, it's tough. I'm not putting her above Assault Deku, but whether I'd put her above Ochako. I think Ochako's punish game is really good. Like, if she catches you with Gamma, Ochako basically kills you. But Ochako doesn't have the same level of, like, consistency as Abara does, I guess, is what I should say. Because if the opponent can roll, like, Ochako's Gamma, like, Ochako's really not too much of a threat. But Abara's, like, always a threat. Because you can't really just roll her Alpha very easily. It's not something you just roll. You don't roll high-speed projectiles like that. So I think I'm going to put Abara above Ochako. Yeah. Mirio. This one's... If I'm being honest, like... He's not that great. I'm not exactly sure where I want to put him. But, like... I think he's kind of, like, better than Ida in a lot of ways. Like, Ida can do crazy combos, but it costs him a lot of charges to do it, and he also, like, has to rely on Gamma a lot. But Mirio can kind of just come in, do his alpha combo at the cost of one charge, do similar damage, and then dip. I think Mirio is better than Ida. Whether I put him above Strike Todoroki, though, I don't know. I think Strike Todoroki is, like, very good, and I don't know if I'd put Mirio above that. I think I'm happy with this position for Mirio. Yeah. I don't think Mirio is super impressive anymore. He lost a lot of what made him, like, amazing with his crazy combo game and stuff. And you can always just roll his Gamma, or not his Gamma, his Beta on reaction. And the rest of his abilities don't hit hard enough to really make up for it. But Charge Alpha and, like, regular Alpha, like, those are still things you need to respect from a Mirio. And if you don't, you're liable to eat a lot of damage. And killing a Mirio is also, like, basically impossible. You can kill an Ida, you can kill a Froppy, you can kill an Ochako. Killing a Mirio is, like, the Mirio has to misplay. The Mirio genuinely has to make a bad play to die. It's kind of shocking. That, or he just gets hit by, like, a Denki Gamma and then gets alpha spammed into oblivion. I mean, I guess that also deals with them too. But, yeah, the Mirio has to, like, genuinely make mistakes in his gameplay to die. He can't just be caught out. There's no catching out Mirio. Nejire. I think her beta is incredibly stupid. Whether I put her above Tech Todoroki or not depends heavily on map. I think UA Island Tech Todo is better by a long shot, and I think USJ Nejire is better by a long shot as well. But I think Nejire is more manageable on the map that she has that's bad, while having a significant advantage on the map where she's good. Well, I mean, she's not even bad on either map, really, but I think she's better on USJ. And Tech Todoroki, he struggles a lot on USJ, in my opinion. I think I'm happy with this. I think Nejire above Tech Todoroki makes sense. All Might. I think All Might, or not All Might, not Kiri. Move back down there, Kiri. All Might, I think he's definitely A tier because of his high fire rate on his alpha, and he's, like, still a good beamer, and he still has the assault type, which is really good. But whether or not, like, where I'd put him in this tier is kind of tough for me to say. I think Assault Deku is just better than All Might in, like, most scenarios, because Assault Deku has more range. Assault Deku has comparable mobility, except Assault Deku's mobility isn't as straightforward and linear, so it's a lot harder to catch out in Assault Deku than it is to catch out in All Might. So yeah, I think I'm happy with this. I think All Might has a lot of significant disadvantages, and he has a few minor advantages, but I don't think any of them make up enough for the other advantages that the other characters have. But I do think he's very solid. I do think he's good. I don't think you can go wrong with All Might. I would personally say going Assault Deku is just better in most scenarios if you've got the aim for it. If you've got the ability to hit your shots, Assault Deku has more range, comparable damage, less charges at max level, but he also has more charges earlier on than All Might does. Yeah, I don't know. It also feels like All Might's cooldowns are really slow, probably because he received many minor nerfs on repeat for like 3 straight seasons. So all of All Might's cooldowns feel really bad. And Deku's also feel pretty bad, but they're not like as bad in my opinion. I feel like Deku's cooldowns are a lot better than All Might's in practice. Yeah. That's what I would say. I think Deku and All Might are 2 very comparable characters. I just think Deku is better in a lot of scenarios. And I think it's by enough of a margin to put All Might a few spots below Deku. Aizawa. Now, I actually used to say that Aizawa would be like top 3 if his alpha got fixed. But so far, nobody's really shown why. Like, I think he's still really good, don't get me wrong. I think he goes probably about right here. Because it's super easy to punish an Aizawa that is, like, pushing you with alpha and all that. It's super easy to punish him. Like, he's fairly predictable in that. Like, you can easily hit him with an alpha of your own and hit him back. But there is no, like, denying the damage that he can do with his air alphas. They do, like, 210 or something. You can probably tune that to be a guard break. And he also has, like, crazy combos. Like, given the combos are pretty inconsistent and something you shouldn't really be going for in many real games, but he still has, like, monstrous combos that you see top, like, Aizawas do that essentially instantly kill you. And, yeah, there really is no denying that. Like, if he hits you with a raw Gamma without, like, any alphas, and he also has a teammate present, you die. Because he can do Gamma into Alpha Hold while the teammate either beams you or gets prepared to do a combo finisher after he does his Air Alpha. Yeah, I think Aizawa's very good. I don't think he breaks the game like I thought he was going to. Devs, please don't buff him. He doesn't need it. We don't need Aizawa meta. That sounds awful. Mike. I'm going to be honest, though. I think he's above All Might. But I think that's it. And a large amount of this is because of tuning. He's the only character in the game that does not have a PUR fit and cannot go to max level on his special tuning skills, which puts him at a hefty disadvantage against other max tuned builds. But that doesn't mean Mike is bad. He's still able to output monstrous damage and able to stun people into like crazy combos and stuff. And with like PU intensified, like I can see him being the ultimate comeback king. As his Gamma already does like 190 or something like that at level 9 without any like buffs. So with PU intensified, that's like 300 for 1 Gamma, like 320, something like that. And if he goes Beta into Gamma, that would be roughly about like 460 to 500 damage. Assuming my numbers aren't wrong, like that's monstrous. He'd just instantly delete people. He'd be the ultimate comeback king. But at the same time, like his major lack of tuning is really hindering him, in my opinion. I think when he gets a PUR, he moves up to S tier. As long as he has a good PUR fit to work with, I think he moves up to S tier. If all of the PUR fits are garbage, then he'd probably like just move up to like higher A tier. But, like, if he could tune to the same level of Deku, he'd be above Assault Deku, above Denki easily. But he can't. So I think that is what's holding him back right now, and I think that's why he's not S tier. Is because he can't tune to the level the other characters can. He's still crazy, though. Don't get me wrong. Mike will still kill you very quickly if you're not prepared. Yeah. Cementos. I'm actually going to put him at the very top of A. Maybe S tier. And a large amount of this is Reinforced Revive. He has the ability to create cover for everybody, and he's very overtuned. His damage numbers are wild. His Gamma Alpha combo still does way too much damage. But there is also another issue with him, in that I think his tuning is kind of bugged right now, where if he does an alpha boosting tune, it only boosts the rock and not like the pillar that comes out of, like, whenever it touches like a structure. I don't think the pillar gets boosted at all. And I don't think that hinders him too badly. But yeah, like, he can't max out his tuning as much as he would like to, probably. But don't get me wrong, he didn't need it. He's still crazy good. Yeah. Cementos, still very good. Rock Reinforced Revive. If you're not rocking Reinforced Revive on Cementos, Ibaro, or Froppy, you're actively running a very bad build, in my opinion. And, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like, he's really good. Yeah. Moving on. Endeavor. I think people overhate him. I think Aim Assist Endeavor is still, like, here. Maybe even, like, up here. Aim Assist Endeavor is still kind of crazy. Like, he's not, like, unbeatable, like, amazing, but he's still, like, kind of crazy. And without Aim Assist, I don't actually think he even drops that much. I think putting him, like, right here is valid. I think he's good. But I don't think he's a great beamer. I don't think he's great at anything. Like, his beta right now I hear is bugged and has a lot of consistency issues, which I hope gets fixed. But yeah. Right now, I don't think Endeavor is as bad as people say. Some people would put him in, like, C tier, for example, right now. I disagree. I don't think he's fantastic. I don't think he's near the level that he used to be. But, yeah, he's struggling. He's very struggling. Yeah. Hawks. Hawks. Come on, Hawks. Easy number 2. Now, I want to start this off by saying I think there's an argument for him being number 1 on USJ. But it's only by a very small margin, and Full Bullet would still be number 2. Like, I think which one of them is better on USJ is very comparable. UA Island, though, Full Bullet's better by a very significant margin, in my opinion. So, I think Full Bullet overall edges out Hawks, but you still can't deny that the nerfs did not kill Hawks. He definitely did not get killed by those nerfs. He is still a monster. He will still beta you into oblivion, and he will still essentially never die unless he actively throws his life away, because his special action still doesn't get rid of his iframes. So he can still just do a wake up special action away, and oh, he's gone, and there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah. Still, like, really broken character. Less broken than he was. He doesn't literally shape the meta around his existence anymore, in my opinion. And I think characters like Strike Shiggy are more viable because of this. But there is still no denying that Hawks is still a monster. Yeah. Mount Lady. Ooh, this is a very tough one. This is a very, very tough one. Because until recently, I would put her at, like, C tier. Maybe just above Kiri. But I think there's a lot of things going for her this season that are raising her up heavily. I honestly think she's, like, here. Maybe even up here. Now, the things that are going well for her are tuning. Her access to things like embrittlement and sisterly disposition is incredibly helpful. And it definitely, like, is a huge boon to her that she, like, can use all that. And get, like, the 50% defense boost, or have the rest of her combo deal, like, 20% more damage. And she can tune up her alpha as well to do, like, 58 per hit on HP, which is crazy. Additionally, there's been some combo developments for her recently that, while aren't super practical, they make her melee game very similar to what it used to be. If you took, like, Season 3 Mount Lady, for example, with her beta, alpha, alpha, beta, alpha, alpha, beta, it's not quite that much damage, but if Mount Lady, like, has both of her gammas up and is willing to use them in a combo, she can do, like, very comparable damage to that. And it's kind of crazy that after all these nerfs, her combo game is still, like, this kind of crazy. But admittedly, before, it didn't cost her either of her gammas to do it. And she had an HP advantage and, like, alpha attack damage and beta damage, all that. Now, if you want to get that same level of damage, you have to really work for it. And it's going to cost you both your gammas. Which I don't think is worth it. I don't think it's worth it a lot of the time. But the burst damage that this character can output with these recent developments for her combo game, it's wild. And, like, the ability to run embrittlement and, like, sisterly disposition, both, again, also incredibly wild. 30 seconds of half damage on her is monstrous, especially because she can just kind of do a melee in any of her combos, and it, like, just kind of works. Yeah, I think Mount Lady has to work a lot harder than the top tier characters, and I would honestly, am probably going to move her down to here. But I think she's rising. And I think if the devs give her too much of a buff, I can easily see her going back to A tier, high A tier. I think simply giving her 50 HP back would put her above All Might. And I think if you gave her, like, 5 of her alpha damage back, like, not quite what it used to be, but, you know, gave it a little bit of it back to her, and she immediately moves back up to, like, top of A tier. Yeah, I think she's on a rise right now. We'll wait and see how it continues on. But, yeah, I genuinely think, like, Mount Lady is, like, getting a lot better as time passes. Strike Shigaraki. I mentioned Strike Shiggy earlier, and he used to be my pick for the worst character in the game. Now he's, like, here. Because I think if you're going to run an endgame monster, you'd probably rather run Strike Shiggy than you would Kirishima. But I don't think Strike Shiggy is super fantastic either. He still has a lot of issues, like basically any character that can stay in the air essentially deletes him. And this does include Nejire and Strike Deku and Rapid Bakugo on Hawks. And, you know, all the higher tier characters, like, still, like, just kind of destroy him. But it feels like he's more valuable now to, like, keep alive and play around for those end games because Hawks can't air camp for 30 minutes. And, like, yeah. Now it's, like, basically just Nejire. Like, Nejire is, like, the only one I can see right now who never has to leave the ground in the S tier right now. I mean, there's maybe you could argue Rapid Bakugo. But yeah, Nejire, like, a lot of these characters now need to touch the ground a lot more often than they used to. Except for Strike Deku, he was never changed. But he never had to stay off the ground for as long anyway. So, you know, Strike Shiggy never really had that much, like, that worry against Strike Deku. He had different worries, but yeah. Either way, I think Strike Shiggy's viability has gone up a lot ever since Hawks got nerfed. And, yeah, I mean, I don't think he's great either, but at least he's better than Mr. 65 damage Alpha Bakugo down there. Yeah. Assault Shigaraki. I'm probably going to put him here. Actually, no. I think he's above All Might. I think he's one of the best no knockdown beamers right now. Even though calling him a beamer feels a bit disingenuous at times with how his alpha works. His main issue is literally like Nejire, Rapid Bakugo, Hawks, the characters like Strike Shiggy also struggles with, but it feels like Assault Shiggy doesn't have as bad of an issue with those characters, and he's also a lot better against the rest of the cast than Strike Shiggy is, and he's like a lot less level reliant too. Yeah, I think Assault Shiggy is good again. I don't think he's fantastic. I don't think he's meta, but I think he's come back a little bit, just a little bit. All for One. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna put him above Assault Shiggy. I think if he gets the proper quirk, he's like insanely monster. Like he moves up multiple tiers. Like he might even be like S tier if he gets like Mirio quirk. But like I think he's very good. His beta, like being able to stagger opponents so easily into his alpha and stuff for like essentially a free guard break. Yeah. And then his alpha, like, despite the 4-shot knockdown, like, you're almost never reaching that knockdown value fast enough anyway. It's kind of like the same deal with Present Mike, which is why I didn't really mention it. Their alphas have high knockdown values, but that's more so designed specifically for, like, certain aspects of their kit rather than just knocking down when you shoot too many shots. And I think that results in AFO's alpha, like, most of the time not really knocking down unless the opponent is either, like, on fire, burning, something like that, or has just been hit by some high knockdown value attacks. Like a, I guess what would be a good example of that? It'd probably be, like, AFO's beta. Like, beta into alpha, or, like, if it got hit by, like, a Strike Deku alpha, then 2 AFO alphas will knock down. But it doesn't, I still think he's very good. And I don't think the alpha knockdown thing is really that big of a deal. I think his alpha is, like, better than, like, Assault Deku's. But Assault Deku just has the mobility and the consistency that AFO does not really have. And, like, yeah. I think AFO is still very solid. And, I think he could use, like, maybe a very, very small buff. Like, I want to see him be able to level up his special action quirk. Like, his special action quirks. Like, I want to see that happen. And I want to see his Gamma cooldown cut. I want to see that, like, Gamma take longer to come back, because it right now, it's, like, impossible for melee characters to get close to him with how fast it comes back. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I think AFO's good. I don't think he's monstrous. I think he's good. I think for a while he was pretty underrated, but I think he's still, like, very good. The nerfs hit him hard, but, like, pre-nerf AFO was, like, mid-high S tier. So I think the nerfs were warranted. Technical Dabi. I think this is the first season in a while where there's genuine characters worse than Tech Dabi. Tech Dabi isn't fantastic, but he at least has a niche, and, like, he can at least exist and, like, be sort of a threat. While you're only really being a threat with Strike Bakugo if you hit, like, literally every single shot. And in, like, it's still, like, not even that much of a threat. You still hit, like, a pool noodle. And same with, like, Kendo. Like, you have to be, like, in melee ranges with your low mobility and your speed card nerf, so you can't even do a lot of her old techs anymore. Yeah. Like, I think Tech Dabi has finally, like, risen from the lowest tier in the game. And you can blame the devs for that one. And then their poor balancing. Strike Dabi. I think he's A. I think he's... Where would I put him in A? I think he's good. I think he's somewhere around this area. Where exactly I would put him? I think I like this, because I think Reinforced Revive still makes Cementos like an absolute monster. But Strike Dabi also just has the ability to just kind of one-for-one somebody, and it's not really very fun. The only change I want to see happen to Strike Dabi is I want to see where if you roll, like, the initial tracking part of his beta, where, like, the rest of his beta doesn't lock onto you. Like, you should be able to roll his beta. That's it. That's all I want to see. I would even take, like, a buff to his early game, like he gets 1 extra alpha charge at level 1, and his beta gets a little bit more damage at lower levels. I would even take that if I was able to simply, like, roll his beta. The amount of times his beta has hit me despite rolling it, like, is kind of, like, a bit much. Yeah, I think he's very strong. I think there's no denying how strong the character is. But I don't think he's top tier levels of broken. But he can feel that way when you're fighting him. He can certainly feel like he's S tier. But I don't think he is. Because he has a lot of issues that make him, I think, in my opinion, lower than S. But he's still, like, crazy. Technical Toga. I don't know where I would put her. I feel like I haven't seen Technical Toga in multiple seasons. And I think there's kind of a reason for that. I think it's because she's just kind of outclassed by her rapid variant. And the Toga Gamma nerf was, like, not valid. Like, I don't think she needed her tracking hit. I'm gonna be honest, because of her ability to still copy characters, like, the top characters, like, she's still, like, at least right here. And she can even copy, like, tuning builds and stuff, but, like, I don't think she's that crazy. Yeah. I think that's where I'm gonna put her. Yeah. I think Technical Toga has fallen off very heavily. Rapid Toga, on the other hand. Where in S? Probably above Nejire. I think Rapid Toga is, like, crazy good. And I think if you can absolutely master the character, there might even be an argument for even higher than this. I think she's also one of the hardest characters to truly master, though. So I think for now I'm just going to leave her here until somebody can prove that wrong. Yeah. But I think Rapid Toga is still crazy. Everybody knows why. I mean, her beta into gamma is, like, basically a guard break. If you throw an alpha in there, or alpha or two in there, like, you can true combo an alpha into, like, beta, alpha, gamma. That's true on HP. It's not on GP, but it is true on HP. Yeah. Her main issues are that it's super easy to hit her, like, when she's trying to run away, because of how much ending lag is on her gamma and how linear her mobility is. And her cooldowns are, like, really bad, so she relies heavily on cooldown resets from her special action. Yeah. And you can roll her beta, but if you roll her beta, and the Toga, like, knows this, like, the Toga can track your roll and hit you with a free gamma anyway. So it's really good, like, Rapid Toga, like, just doesn't care if you roll her, because she's just going to hit you either way. And she's still going to do, like, way too much damage. Yeah. I don't think she's the best character in the game. I think Full Bullet still has that title, but Rapid Toga is definitely very good. Twice. Where would I put Twice, huh? I think I'm going to put him just above Assault Shiggy. I think he's good. I definitely think he's good. But I don't think he's super fantastic, especially with his Gamma combos becoming less reliable. Now, I have heard that there is a way to make the Gamma combos more consistent, but it's still, like, not great for him. His alpha is still incredible, though. His mobility is still very straightforward and linear, so, you know, it kind of results in him being very hard to escape a lot of fights, because it's super easy to hit him out of the air. Yeah. I think Twice deserves that position, in my opinion. His alpha and his clones and stuff, like, he can still melt you faster than a lot of the other characters in this game can. And his ability to create clones is still very nice, but at a top level, those clones don't really do much most of the time, unless it's like an Aizawa clone, in which case, good luck. Yeah. I don't think Twice needs any buffs. I think Twice being meta was a huge problem for the game. I think Twice is not a very fun meta, and I think he should stay dead. Compress. I think Compress is up here with like the other no knockdown beamers. If we're like assuming 999, he's up here like above Denki. But we're not assuming 999, we're assuming the whole game, and because Compress is so reliant on getting trucks and then getting that second gamma charge, I think that moves Compress down. And I would still probably put him... I want to put him above... I'm going to put him below Mike. Because I've also looked, he doesn't really have many good tuning costumes either. Like, they're all kind of mid to bad for his PURs. So he doesn't get as much from tuning as other characters do. Yeah. I think that's a fair position. Maybe I'll put him below All For One. But I think he's better than Twice. Yeah. That's where I'm going to put him. Overhaul. Man. Tough. This is a tough one. Because base Overhaul, no tuning, B tier. But we're not assuming no tuning. For all of these characters, we're assuming that they're being tuned to a degree. Like they're optimal or close to optimal tunes. And because of special action reload from All For One, I think it's on down, he gets 5 times reload on a special. He can become one of the easiest characters to snowball with in, like, Final Zone. So, I think he's genuine. I think he's above Ochako. I think he's above Aizawa, honestly. I think this is where I would put him. The main way to take him out is to just not let him get any kills, and then his special action won't come back near as fast. But sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes he'll just kill another random person that's like not affiliated with your team, and if that happens, he gets his special action back nearly instantly, and it's a bit crazy. Yeah. I don't think he needs nerfed. I think if something needs nerfed, I think it would be special action reload that needs nerfed. As special action reload is really good for certain characters. Like, it works well for Hawks, it works well for the Bakugos, it works well for all of the instant revives. But it works absolutely horribly on so many other characters. Yeah, I think special action reload is an incredibly niche, but incredibly powerful ability. And Overhaul is one of the best users of said ability, which puts him immediately above a lot of the other cast. Additionally, the abundance of gamma tunes that you can give to make his gamma hit even harder, like, yeah, it makes him even more monstrous. I think he's crazy. Now, before I end the video, there are a few changes that I want to make. First off, I'm going to move Momo up. Because I think Momo is incredible. I think she's, like, really good. I think her support is, like, unrivaled. And I'm actually going to move Ida up to a very, like, low A-tier position. Yep. And I think I'm going to move All Might up a bit, too. I think I'm going to move All Might to, I'm not sure. I think I'm going to put him just below Mike, maybe? Maybe? I think I'll put him, like, right here. I think his ability to be, like, a beamer is, like, still very good, still very viable. I don't think he's enough worse than Assault Deku to be, like, all the way across the tier. Yeah. And then other changes. I think if we're assuming Froppy gets fixed, I think Froppy moves up to the top of B. But if she doesn't get fixed, then she moves down to, like, C. But if we're assuming she's fixed, then yeah. And then I think that's pretty close. I might move Toga over Endeavor. Something like that. I think this is a general good representation of my overall thoughts on the meta right now. I'll scroll through slowly so you can see what the finalized tier list looks like. Yeah. This is how I would design it. I think the nerfs to Kendo were invalid. I think Strike Bakugo should have received a buff this season. And I think Tech Dabi has always just been bad. Yeah. I think Mount Lady's on an uprising. Mount Lady might end up moving up to A tier in the near future. Yeah. Now, before we go, I don't have Strike Kiri on this list, but I do want to mention him. For those who want to hear my thoughts on him, since this video was made before Strike Kiri came out. And I think Strike Kiri is solid. I think he's a very high A tier pick. I would probably put him next to like Obara or like Aizawa, somewhere around that area. From what we've seen, he could be a lot better than I'm giving him credit for. But from what I have seen of Strike Kirishima, I don't think he's insane, but I think he's good. I think he's very good. Yeah, I think he's going to be one of the best melee fighters in the game, that's for sure. But melee fighters have never historically been very top tier. It's usually ranged fighters are very good, with melee as a certain attribute that changes, like that also makes them good. But it's usually never the main point of the character. Yeah. Alright, well, that's my tier list, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you didn't just skip to the character that you wanted to see and then skip to the end of the video just to see the full finalized tier list. Hope you didn't do that. I hope you watched the whole video, even though I know it's an hour long. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and peace.